Hi, this is John again, and today I'm going to tackle the project of changing the rear fender on this Kubota BX24. I happened to go to the Kubota dealer in town, and they had this replacement fender assembly that is the new and improved version that has the ribs underneath, and apparently it's thicker, and so we'll look at that later. But the fender assembly that came on the tractor, it's got a big crack down here, and then the main parts that are the problem with all of these BX24s, well, the early models, is right here. It's cracked all the way through there. I put a block of wood under each side of the pan underneath to stabilize it, but you can see over on that side the cracks are quite noticeable. So we are going to pull this back end all apart. I got instructions online on how to take this thing apart, and it was I think it was tractorbynet.com. Somebody, one of the people on there, he did a PDF of all the steps needed to pull the tractor or take the seat pan off. So we'll follow this, and I guess the worst part apparently is getting these two knobs off. They just pull off, and some people online say that they break, you destroy them when you try to pull them off, and other people say, well, if you work at it, you can pry them off and reuse them. So I think that's the first thing I'm going to tackle, is trying to get those two knobs off. We'll tackle the 3-point knob first, so I'm going to use a heat gun. Next is this guy. There it goes. So I got this bolt out in the front, but I couldn't. I don't think I can get the other side out, so I'm going to try to get it out, fender out with just that one bolt left. The new fender has ribs molded in back here to help stiffen this corner. So it looks like the thickness of these two has stayed the same, and they just added these ribs, and then they added the support kit, which I also purchased. So these parts will be mounted on the frame, and they will support the deck. I figured I'd look at the fuel sender because the fuel gauge was not working. So I pulled it out. It's located under the left fender, so the only time you can get to it is when you have this whole fender assembly off. And I don't know where it would get all this moisture from inside the tank, but look at that. It's just rusted solid. So I guess a new fuel sender is in my future. Wow, doesn't even move. Oh well. Guess I'll leave that out. Well, that ends this project for the day. I looked online to see about getting a new fuel tank sender, and a replacement is $53 plus shipping, and it's been superseded by a different number at the Kubota dealer, and the new one is $90. So I don't know if they've made an improvement or if it's just a newer one that's going to rust out the same as the old one. So I took this one down to the basement and took it all apart and cleaned it up as best I could, and I got it working. And so now I actually have a functional gas gauge again. So we'll see how long that lasts. And now I can get back to working on putting the fender on and putting these supports underneath the deck here. One thing I did find out too about the 12-volt power supply, the hole in the old fender is for this size, and the hole in the new fender is bigger. So this thing just drops in there and rattles around. Here's the hole for the old one, and you can clearly see that that is a nice tight fit in there. But for now I'm just going to move forward and start working on putting together or mounting the support brackets. This big one goes here on the left side, probably because most people are going to be climbing in and out of the left side because of the controls over on the right. This is interesting. It says to not reuse or not put a bolt back in this hole. There were two bolts, a bolt there and a bolt there, that bolted the step to the fender, and now they're saying in the instructions not to put that one back in. So that's under here, this hole and this hole, and they say not to put one back in this hole, but to put one back in that hole. Seats all back on and the tractor is running great. It's only got 274 hours on it, so it doesn't have much time. But the new fenders look great. No more cracks, no more breaks. And one of the best parts, the cascade